take projection.
Welcome to Taking On Sports, everybody. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing?
I am good today, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. I was doing manly shit today, building the deck and stuff. I'm
Nice.
feeling very close to 40. As I usually do when I do that stuff. But other than that, good. It's springtime in Alabama and WrestleMania is on the TV, and
Yes, sir.
can't complain about that. So yeah, for the listener, if you hear us any oh shits or anything, that is what we are both watching. WrestleMania right now, starting to record at the beginning of the Bianca Belair and Asuka women's title match. But
should be a good one.
Oh yeah, should be a good one. Both of these are legit. Bianca Belair, one of the few Tennessee Vols that we can appreciate.
Exactly.
But we will begin with the other big event going on this weekend, Final Four. A good women's title game today between LSU and Iowa. LSU beats Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Caitlin Clark just running through everybody this tournament. They ended
hell of a play.
Yeah. They ended South Carolina's unbeaten season the other night. But LSU did it. Their first title, right?
Yeah, first title. Kemoki.
Yeah.
Only second year there in Baton Rouge. They pulled her from Baylor and turned around the program because they're definitely falling on hard times before she got there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she works her magic.
Yes, she does.
No doubt about that. But yeah, in the men's side of things, title game tomorrow night, UConn and San Diego State, new public enemy number one in the state of Alabama. They beat Florida Atlantic on a buzzer beater the other night. Only the fifth buzzer beater in Final Four history.
Well, yeah. And then when you're down, first one when they're down in the Final Four, that's hard to believe, but I kept seeing it, so I guess it's true that those first time that anybody's hit a buzzer beater like that when they've been down a point or.
Huh. So all the other ones, they've been tied?
Yeah. Tied.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, they had a big comeback against Florida Atlantic. Shame. A great season for Florida Atlantic. Like we said, they'll play UConn, who rolled through Miami and who's been rolling through everyone in this tournament.
Yeah.
I think their worst game was that Iona game, the first game, if you look at some of the advanced stats.
Yeah.
So that's.
They've just been completely dominant.
Yeah, and
that's a team that, and it's weird because they during the Big East, they start off the season dominant. Struggled at times in the Big East. Didn't even win the Big East Conference regular season or tournament, and then got back to what they were expected to do in the NCAA tournament. Just completely dominated everybody. Like no one's really. I mean, I guess Miami was their closest game, and it really wasn't too close. Like, they cut it under double digits once in the second half there.
Yeah, it was not.
They got it down to 8, and that was about it.
Yeah, UConn's had they've been, like you said, they had that lull kind of middle of the season. They started off real hot, then had like a lull in the middle of like maybe 10 games in the season. They lost like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah. And then they just turned it on at the end, and they've been just absolutely scorched earth for the last act of their season. And it'd be a tough.
The way that they slaughtered Arkansas and slaughtered Gonzaga, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just took out really good teams and really athletic teams. And what's it? Sonogo, he is a beast, man. And, you want to say that it's going to be a big hill for San Diego State to climb, but they've been doing it. People said that about Alabama, and they took it to us. I mean, you can.
Yeah, I mean, And the thing that's impressed me about San Diego State is they know how to close games out. I mean,
Hmm.
with about 8 minutes, we were up 8-10. Creighton had a big lead late. Florida Atlantic was up 13 with like 10 minutes. It was looking kind of bleak there for San Diego State, but every game they've answered the bell and closed out.
Yeah,
But
they find that they got that dog in them, as they say.
they
They
definitely do.
they find that extra gear every time, and I did tweet out last night. I think I said something like, "I'll say what everybody's scared to say," but uh, San Diego State plays a trash ass style of basketball, and they're in the front to the sport, and it's ugly,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
Ugly.
it's rough, it's choppy. There's probably a conversation to be had about why the NCAA lets teams like that, and Tennessee how they let them slow and break up games like that. But hey, it wins, and
It wins. It works. It frustrates the hell out of teams,
mhm.
and San Diego State's been doing that for a while. I mean, Steve Fisher kind of brought that system in when he became the coach, and the current coach, who was a Steve Fisher guy, they were together at Michigan. I think but he was on the Steve Fisher's staff when they lost the famous timeout game.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that's like we said, got to give them credit. They've been winning and winning and winning, and and making the case for their
first
football
night,
team to get a Pac-12 invite.
right, and they've first 9 seed to ever be in the national title game.
Mm. But yeah, we'll see again tomorrow night, Monday night, or I guess if you listen to this on Monday tonight, if they can beat Red Hot UConn Huskies, or if the UConn can win another title and kind of enter that. I guess I was weird. I saw a conversation on Twitter earlier. This is UConn a blue blood, and kind of it was about how closed off football blue blood or basketball blue
Right.
bloods can be. It's like Duke, UNC, Kentucky,
I think
Kansas. Yeah.
right. I think they're in there. I think and I think I'd asked this on Facebook as well. Why aren't they considered a blue blood? I guess the answer that made the most sense is just kind of when they started winning. I guess it's a little newer.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in UCLA, Kentucky. I mean, they won their first title in '99.
Mm-hmm.
All those other supposed blue bloods had several titles before that. But I mean, since that time, I mean, they win this? What is that? Their fifth title?
I
So
believe they would tie with Indiana for titles. They don't have as many Final Four appearances, but they have more Elite Eight appearances than Indiana.
yeah,
And like you said, they only won their first one in '99, but they've won a lot since then. Indiana
they
hasn't
won
won a
in
title since
'99.
the '70s, '80s.
Wow. When was the last time? I think it was the Key Smart. Was it '87?
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned UCLA. Their last title was 95 at O'Bannon.
95.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they beat Arkansas.
that's
So,
right. Granted, they
look at
have
that.
made a final or two since then, but
Yeah, I mean, they've had some good runs, and
yeah.
still, they've come back. I mean, they were down for a little bit, and I mean, they made two Final Fours in a row when they had Kevin Love and Westbrook and all
Mm-hmm.
that bunch.
Yeah.
They've had some solid runs recently.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Duke and Carolina. I mean, they've had runs
Mm-hmm.
recently. Kentucky. I mean, they haven't been at the Kentucky standard, but I mean, they're still very relevant.
Yeah.
No Final Fours for a while, and I guess that was UConn's last national title was 2014 when they actually beat Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Dallas. And that's another thing. At UConn in Texas, they never lose in the Final Four.
Hey man, sometimes you get a feeling in place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that is the men's Final Four. It's been a good tournament. It's been a rough tournament for brackets. If you play,
Oh man.
I'm actually going to win one group I'm in. The college sportscast group. So another podcast. We have podcast supremacy. But it's terrible. I mean, I don't know. I only got like 600 points, so it was just a war of attrition. It's just who.
Yeah. been a while. I guess it's been the most madness ever in March. I mean, just by everybody. I mean, no one or two seeds in the final four. It's crazy.
Yeah, really amazing. Yeah. When it comes to brackets, it's less about who had the best bracket and just who had the least fucked up bracket.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been a fun one to watch. And all comes the end tomorrow night. And quickly, semi-related college basketball news. I did notice in the new NBA CBA agreement with their players' union, they are going to continue the one and done. There had been discussions of maybe getting rid of that, but they're going to keep that, which that sucks for the college game.
Yeah.
It's really been harmful since they implemented
Yeah.
that to the college game because it just creates these teams where, I mean, look like in Alabama, and we'll get to them in a second, but they're going to lose a lot of players this year to either transfers or, I mean, that's a different thing. But these guys that come in 1 year, Brandon Miller probably would have been a straight to the pros guy.
Yeah. I would assume so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good that I guess you get to see those guys, but at the same time, you kind of what made college basketball so great, like when we were in school, 20, 30 years ago, is you'd have those superstar guys that might come in, play 1 or 2 years, and then leave. But you had these other guys that knew that they needed 3 or 4 years to either
Right.
get to the pros or just guys that knew they weren't going to get to the pros and they stayed the whole time. And so you actually built cohesive teams. That's part of like San Diego State's strength too, is that these guys play together all the damn time.
Exactly. Florida Atlantic.
Mhm.
And I guess it's a gift and a curse, I would say, because your casual fan is not going to be as interested as they were, uh, you know, um, at the old days with the star-studded Big East teams or the star-studded ACC teams, where the guys 2 and 3 years and everybody has a household name. Same time, I think there's a lot more. I've been seeing a lot more equality amongst college basketball. I mean, in the season, we don't all the one seeds are gone before the Final Four. All the two seeds are gone, and there's you go into the tournament and there's literally 8 to 10 teams going in that you say, man, they could really win the title this year. And there's really no wrong answer.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
to get to the first in that aspect,
No, yeah, that makes it parody does make it for a lot of fun. Um,
right.
but and that's not college's biggest problem. The biggest problem is kind of the rules and refereeing and stuff. That's a separate conversation. It's an off-season conversation.
Yeah, that's a podcast in itself.
Exactly. Yeah. That might be an off-season idea. Go through the different leagues and rank which has the worst reffing. Because I do think college
Just
basketball's
so
probably got the biggest problem. But
Yeah, just because they can control the game so
mhm.
much and change the outcome or change the way a game. I think just short, real quick, just the worst thing is just when they call the game one way, the whole game, like they're just letting everything go, and then they get ticky tack in the last couple of minutes. It's
Mhm.
like, come on, this hadn't been a foul for 37 minutes. Let's not
Yeah, either
change it now.
call it all game or don't call it all game, but just either
Yeah,
way, and that's part of the problem is you get some crews that
yeah,
are, it's game to game. You get some crews that let teams play and do whatever the hell they're going to do, and then you get other crews that are nope, we're calling everything by the book, and it hurts the flow. But we mentioned, of course, San Diego State beat Alabama in the Sweet 16. Tide Hoops disappointing into a great year.
yeah.
Best team in school history, arguably, did not get the furthest. But even though that 03-04 team got the furthest, I don't think nobody's
Yeah.
putting them as the best Bama team ever.
Yeah, I mean it was such a Cinderella run. I mean, no expectations.
Yeah.
Anytime you're the eight seed there, I mean, you're not. I mean, we had no expectations really going into it.
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I mean, overall though, I mean, uh, you know, it's hard to say it's a disappointing season because I mean, honestly, to be in the Sweet 16 in the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, with our history. I mean, it's epic, but it's so disappointing only because just how talented this team has been. How many things they've accomplished this season, and honestly, on paper, I mean, it was the best route ever to get to a Final Four. I think that's the most disappointing point.
Yeah, I
We
think.
didn't have to face Arizona or anything like that. You know, we beat San Diego State. I mean, we had to play Creighton, a good team, but one I think we could have beaten.
Hmm.
Um, and then we play FAU. I think it could have been a good game, but it's not a team that we were playing our game. We could have beat as well. So frustrating, but disappointing. But still, I love where we're at, where we're heading. And just hopefully we can, keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it's hard to call this season a disappointment because number one ranking, a number one seed, most wins in school history. Brandon Miller, Player of the Year candidate. An SEC Player and Freshman of the Year. Second Sweet 16 in 3 years. Second time in 3 years we won both the SEC regular season and tournament championships.
Exactly.
Building a strong foundation there. We play an exciting brand of basketball. It's just a
Yeah.
disappointing end. Like you said, the path was laid
Right.
out. It was, and I'm sure had Alabama done it and beaten, gone through that, people, of course,
No, we would have been told, oh, it's the weakest.
yeah,
It's the
haters going to hate,
weakest.
but whatever, it would have been a ring. And I talked about all that thing about San Diego State earlier. That's not to make excuses for Alabama. They did not show up. They shot horribly that game and were not able to close. Like you mentioned, we got that I think it was about a 9-point second half lead and just couldn't get that last defensive stop or one last big three to drop to put it into double digits and kind of, step on their throat. Brandon Miller, as great as he was this year, had a horrible tournament. He was great in the Maryland game. I'll say that. People kind of forget to mention that he really did kind of take that game over for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the passes, the second half was game changer because, Maryland was hanging around there for a little bit.
Yeah, Maryland kind of played San Diego State game that they Oakley'd it up in that first half.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Miller and our skill took over, but shots were falling then, and they were not falling against San Diego State. Was it like 3 of 20 something?
Nobody's shots were falling.
Yeah.
Nothing was falling. It was like, my goodness.
Yeah, it wasn't like Brandon was missing, but Clowney or Coinerly or somebody picked him up. Nobody was hitting shots. I think Riley Griffin had all 3 of her threes or 2 or 3 of them or something. Yeah. JQ was playing too much hero ball.
Yeah, he kept getting his stuff swatted.
Yeah, they had 8 blocks in the second half. Yeah, just don't kick it out because they closed in on people driving, so somebody's going to be open. I know shots weren't falling, but it's better than getting blocked.
Yeah, because he was getting in trying to swat it. I was like, oh,
boy,
wow.
I tell you, I know my dad was pissed at him that game. Just kept, and he played bad a game, turned it over. And there's going to be some Alabama fans that don't want to hear this, but even though he did declare for the draft, there's still a chance he could come back. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He could be a super senior. Yeah. So if he doesn't get the draft grade he likes, there's a possibility JQ comes back. And you know what? I'd welcome him back. He does have his bad games, but he also has his.
And he's at times he's been the heart and soul of the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's had so many key moments, and been a lot of reasons why we've been as successful as we are. We're not who we are without JQ.
Absolutely,
he's had his ups and his downs, but he's had a lot more ups than downs.
Yeah, and when Nate Oates put him into
brings to the game, and one thing you can't say is he's not trying because he gives his all.
Exactly. And when Oates put him into the starting lineup before the SEC tournament, he kind of rejuvenated that offense that went stagnant for the last few weeks of the season.
Right.
I think Miller was the MVP of the tournament, but JQ was the difference. Yeah.
Exactly. Because at last, you look at that, from that South Carolina game when Brandon Miller carried us. The offense was everybody just standing around watching us. The offense was bad for a lot of the that Arkansas game. We don't win the Auburn game without JQ. So he definitely did a lot for us there. You know, I'd like to see him come back. I mean, I understand he's what almost, and he's an older guy. He's what 24 now. So I don't know how much that factors into if he's coming back, but you know, I think he's more built for the college game, just his style. I mean, I don't know how successful the NBA career he actually is going to have.
Hmm.
So I think that's going to be beneficial for us.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see who does come back. We've had a couple guys already put their
Yeah.
names out for the draft in the portal. We did lose Namari.
But,
Uh, yeah,
yeah, Burnett.
Namari Burnett went to Michigan, I believe.
Yeah, he did go
Um,
to Michigan. You
uh,
know, I'm not sure how big of a loss that was because he wasn't the same after the ACL. I mean, he's a great defensive player, but he never hit offensively all season. Like, seemed like he was just a brick city. But
hmm.
I mean, wish him the best where he's going. I mean, it's good to see him come back from that ACL because I mean, you never know how folks going to respond from that. I don't think he ever really regained his. Ooh, Bianca, hell song.
Yeah, good match there.
Yeah, but
Unbelievable strength for her. But yeah, no, no, I know what you're
and
saying.
then
Yeah, he was a
I
different
mean,
player.
and the two obvious wins. I mean we known Miller was gone since he signed. I mean we
Yeah.
knew he was kind of gonna be a one and done. And appreciate all he did. Clowney, I mean I understand why he's going. I mean he's had kind of that. There's been talk to him all season, and I guess the biggest thing that that it was kind of long hope was he wanna work on becoming, I guess, just a more consistent player. He showed signs of greatness, but it was hit and miss at times. But he has that potential that GM is gonna go for. So yeah, of course he's gonna get drafted somewhere, probably mid first round. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'd be interested to see if he doesn't get like if he kind of gets word that he's not a lottery pick if he'd come back.
yeah, that'd be
Definitely
great.
understand going if you're a lottery pick, get that
Yeah,
money. Um,
for sure.
but yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's definitely back. Is Riley Griffin. Because we've had a big exodus before. But
Yeah,
we hope guys like Griffin stick around. Jaden Bradley. You know,
I would. I mean, I wouldn't think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like they were pretty. Uh, a bunch that seemed to everybody seemed to have been a good team.
hmm.
There wasn't really any drama per se as far as amongst the team members. But yeah, you never know when it comes to the portal season and everything. But I would think both those guys come back. I'd like to see Bediako come back another year.
For sure. He's
Because I mean
another
he's
guy
showing.
that, yeah, he's another guy that made a big difference down the stretch.
No, he's really gotten a lot better and just becoming more. Just building muscle and becoming tougher. I could see why he gets drafted just because now with a lot of upside and possible potential. But I'd like to see him develop a little more. Maybe just keep getting better defensively. Because that's our biggest thing. Once again, a loss and what did we do? We got outmanned. We got
Hmm.
bullied. We saw it with Connecticut early in the season. We saw it with Gonzaga, and of course we saw it with OU and San Diego State. We got bullied at times. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mentioned the transfer season's kind of silly. We'll see if someone comes in.
yeah, no, we got the guy's been a couple of different places. I know we.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He had to sit out this year, the year of eligibility, but we'll
Mhm.
get him.
Right.
What is his damn name? We'll think of it. But yeah, we'll see. The impact freshmen they come in, and
Exactly.
we'll see. Natos has got a system in place, and it obviously works when the players buy into it, as we've seen the past couple years.
And I mean, it's a player friendly thing. Like you would think, if you want to be a shooter, you want to have the chance to put up a lot of or run a high octane offense. I mean, it's a player friendly offense. You would think that bring want A lot of today's players would think, "Hey, man, that's awesome. Let me go get in that offense," because everybody likes to play that way that we see. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an NBA style offense.
yeah,
It's attractive for recruits that want to make a run at the league too. They can
no, yeah,
say we've already played in this style of
exactly,
offense.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, do you buy into any of the talk that maybe Oates is? I've seen him called it a kind of a choke artist in the tournament, but that's definitely too far. But maybe that his style is not made for deep runs in the tournament, considering we've had two really good teams that lost in the Sweet 16 to big
Yeah.
underdogs now.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to. I can't say he's necessarily a choke artist. Because you look at it. Yes, that UCLA team was pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were an 11th seed, but they, they went on to the Final Four that year. We saw them this year. A lot of those same players were still there. Jaime Jaquez and Tiger. They're the talented team, way better than what the 11th seed that they were. Um, and as far as this year, the who we run that back. It's one of those things. I think we run that back 9 or 10 times. We win 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to. Everybody's not going to be off. It was just a horrible night for everybody,
Yeah.
and that's not going to happen. I mean, but I can't say a choke artist just because. You look at our history, and the last coach to go to so many Sweet 16s is Wimp. And when was his last time coaching? What, 92 was his last season?
Yeah.
And of course, he had some great teams, Spreewell and Ori and all. And, they couldn't get out the Sweet 16 either. No one calls him a choke artist.
Yeah, exactly. He's considered maybe the best coach in Bama history.
Alabama coach all the time.
Yeah, Mark
And
Godfrey
you
had a lot
can't
of success
sneeze at
there,
a
and
Sweet.
did we even make a Sweet 16 outside of the Elite Eight run under Godfrey?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Our freshman year, we were out in the 64.
Mm-hmm.
We hit our run. The next year, we lost to
The next year was the Elite Eight
Wisconsin,
run.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We lost to Wisconsin, Milwaukee when the Auburn coach was their coach.
Bruce
Pearl was
yeah.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and then we lost to Marquette. We beat Marquette, and then we lost to UCLA in the 32.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, the last year I was in school in 07, we lost to UMass in the NIT. So yeah, we didn't do anything major outside the one epic run.
No.
Yeah. And we can, I like, I think as like we said, we should always we're big enough a school, have enough star power that we should expect Sweet 16s. Like that should be an expectation, yes. But I don't know. The whole does this. We know. We've seen other teams do it.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, Duke, their big thing is shooting threes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Other times they won titles with it.
Yeah.
So,
live by the sword, die by the sword thing.
Yeah. That's his style. It works more than it doesn't work. I think the main thing we just have to do is get tougher on the inside. We get bullied at times, and I think that's our biggest downfall. To say choke artist, I can't say that because he won it. He took Buffalo to a couple of 32s. What more can you expect from Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's been to 2 Sweet 16s in 3 years. Much further than what we've been before him. We have been Colin Sexton the 1 year, and then before that 2012, and before that 06. So
and the Colin Sexton team that they lost in the
32.
32. Yeah.
But I mean, they ran into the Villanova team that ran through
Oh,
everybody.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. It was a bad matchup.
That Villanova team they didn't even have a. I don't think they lost the game by. I think they beat everybody by almost 20.
Yeah,
They just ran through everybody.
that was tough. Colin Sexton's a player I wish I would love to see in this system.
Oh my
Um,
goodness, that would have been
yeah,
fun.
but yeah, no, I think the biggest thing you touched on there is the teams that we've lost to, UCLA and then San Diego State this year both made Final Four runs. San Diego State might be your national champion. Uh,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
just
then
yeah, we're not losing to some 15 seed that flames out the next round.
exactly.
Yeah, well, I guess we're getting an impromptu Shane O'Mac Miz match here.
Damn, Mac.
Yeah.
And Miz, are they fighting? Because Miz fought last night and lost.
Didn't get bodied by George Kittle. Oh,
Yeah, he got body slammed by. He
Shane
got laid
O'Mac.
out by George Kittle.
Oh, did Shane hurt
Yeah, but
himself?
because
Oh,
Miz lost last night, he fought. I can't even think of his name. Dude on College Game Day.
no, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
So funny.
and that I still got to go back watch a couple matches from last night. Oh, Snoop. Yeah, I won't say about the Peacock thing. And I might make a guest spot on Alabama Slam this week, but we'll see. So I don't want to ruin it too much. But Peacock does not let you start live events from the beginning, which is a flaw in their system they need to fix. Because that was a good thing about the WWE network. If you had to, miss
And you
an
got to
hour,
wait till
you got to wait till it's over and they get the replay up. You
Yeah.
can't. So
No,
literally
you can't
last
start.
night I was late and literally I tuned in as Sami Zayn was getting the pin. So that kind of,
That sucks.
yeah, I was like, well,
Yeah.
all right then. So, and then I had to wait 30 minutes for them to actually get the replay up to watch a few matches.
Yeah, because it didn't come up till midnight.
Yeah. But yeah, with Alabama, I think we've got it. We're building something here and it's great. And, I'm not worried about it. As long as you get the players to buy into it, we don't have like a
Exactly.
repeat of last year with selfishness and egos.
Yeah.
You're going to make runs. Like you said, Sweet 16, that second weekend of the tournament should be our baseline with a program our size.
Right. And I know we're 1-9 now in Sweet 16 games, so I understand it's tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't complain. Now, if we lose like 10 Sweet 16s in a row, then maybe it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, if you get that kind of, what's his face? Blanking on Roy Williams. You get that kind of reputation going, then that's not great. His Kansas years when he just couldn't get over that hump until he went to UNC and had that stacked team. But I'm happy as an Alabama basketball fan. Of course, it sucks the way this year ended, but you're happy overall where the program is.
Correct.
You're happy. You're confident that Nate Oates is going to get guys to play well, and he's going to get big name recruits to come.
Yeah.
We're going to get another Brandon Miller type player.
Exactly.
We're going to get those star players. We're going to win the SEC. Winning the SEC regular season twice in 3 years is that's a big thing. Winning conference regular season titles is huge. That's a really mark of a program.
And then able to continue that on to the SEC tournament, one that's tough to win, especially with the regular season champs. We won, 2 of those. So.
Yeah, but now we just need to build that damn arena. That's it. That's the next step. Build the damn arena.
Yeah. Build the arena. Keep it going. And hopefully, we'll see a Final Four sooner than later. But, I like where we're at. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much. Would have loved to have gone further. We all would have. But long, we're going for the long game here. So we, and that's, if he's, like I said, he's going to the second round of the tournament, the second weekend, can we get some third round weekends? Hey, but as long as we can stay consistent and not, flaming out early, turn into that Purdue where you're losing the first weekend every other year. Or, I'm happy.
Yeah. Um, should note once again the Big Ten will not win a national title.
Again,
Yeah,
2000, long time ago.
again, Mateen Cleese, baby, Mateen Cleese, Mo Pete. Uh, but yeah, that should do it for I guess Alabama in college basketball talk. Unless we've forgotten everything, I don't think we have. Again, it's been fun tournaments to watch.
A lot of epic moments.
Yeah. And we'll excited to run it back next year.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nice to be excited about Alabama basketball for once.
Oh,
I'll
for
say that.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then, softball and baseball have started off the year strong too. So it's,
Well, about softball,
yeah.
I don't know. You know, we we won a series this weekend. We beat Missouri, but we lost 2 out of 3 to Tennessee. We lost 2 out of 3 to Arkansas. Like,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't know. And that's the one thing you see. I understand. Like, there seems to be like when people be at critical, it just doesn't seem to happen. I don't know if it's because it's a female sport or what it is, but Murphy, I don't know, he annoys me sometimes. And
No, for sure. It's been disappointing conference start in both
yeah,
sports. Alabama is also struggling. The guys are struggling too in their start to the
yeah. I
conference
mean,
season.
we blew out Arkansas Friday, but then lost yesterday and lost a close one today, 5-4. Yeah, I mean, we're competing, and on the men's side, it's just when you can't, we're not winning series. I guess
Hmm.
we will win one out the weekend, or lose two. But I mean, the SEC, both softball and baseball, is a gauntlet.
Oh, it's vicious. Yeah.
Then there's so many talented teams, especially on that baseball side. I mean, I guess the main thing with that, you just hope that we can get into a regional.
Hmm.
Um, get at least start there, consistently make regionals, and build from there. On the softball side, for the longest, I mean, Alabama and Oklahoma City has been synonymous. Had the 2 years ago had the kind of the blunder I thought with the pitching matchup where we had the extra where they sat Fouts, and really haven't been the same since.
Hmm.
Tough last year, been up and down this year. Had some great moments, but hopefully they'll get it right. But
No, for sure. But we'll move on to we'll stay basketball. Really, we'll go to the NBA. The playoff race is really heating up now. The Hall of Fame was announced this week too, and a
yeah,
pretty good class. Your
excellent
boy
class.
Dirk,
Dirk
uh, the
in there.
man, Dirk, Dwayne Wade. Kind of fitting that those two going together. Um, um, Greg Popovich.
Man,
Even though he's still coaching, he's in. Paul Gasol, he made the cut, right?
yep, Paul Gasol.
And did Tony Parker make the cut or no? Did he
I
not?
don't think he
He was a
did.
finalist, but I'm not sure that he actually.
I think he wait. I think he did. I think he did actually. Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he did.
he did okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
He a Hall of
overall,
Famer for you?
huh?
Is Tony Parker a Hall of Famer to you?
You know, based on his, I guess, what he did. I think, and I say this about him, and some people say it's my hatred for the Spurs. I think that a lot of those guys lived off a great system. Outside that system, they're not. We don't have them on the level that we have them at.
Mm,
But based on what he did within that system and his international play, I mean, has a resume to be a Hall of Famer. But
mm,
I don't know how. I just think, Pop has had a system that really worked, but he had to have the right guys to build into it, and he, have those perfect guys to go into that system. Guys that
Hmm.
really didn't complain and, just wanted to win, and no ego type of guys, and that system worked. I don't know if Paul, Ginobili and Tony Parker, excellent players, but I don't think they're as high in that regard in other places. But that's just me. But excuse me, based upon what they look for, and championships won, solid point guard. Big reason why the Spurs did what they did. I mean, you can't not have them in there for sure.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a strong class.
definitely strong class.
Obviously, highlights are Dirk and Dwayne for their on court stuff.
Absolutely.
Pops, one of the greatest coaches ever.
Exactly.
All deserving.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and did was Becky Hammond? She make it too?
Yeah, she did make it.
Yeah, okay. Also fitting. We should give her a shout out too. No, this is some cool shit. Who is this? Is this Edge's entrance or Finn
Yeah.
Balor's here?
It's
This
Edge
is
is
some
going
horror
that
movie
brood,
type looking stuff.
going that brood stuff.
Oh yeah. But yeah, on the court, some playoff berths have been wrapped up, clinched. In the East, the Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs, and Knicks have all clinched playoff spots.
Mm-hmm.
The Raptors have clinched a play-in spot. And in the West, the Nuggets, Grizz, and Kings have clinched
Kings.
playoff berths.
That's the one I'm. It's been so long for them.
First. What was it? First one since
06?
06, yeah.
Wow.
A long drought for Sacramento fans there, but good for them. You have doubts about how long they can go, how deep they can run. A little defensively challenged, to say the least. But they're, hey man, they're an exciting team to watch, and good for them.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, the Pelicans, my Pels have heated back up, got themselves in conversation.
Yeah.
The Lakers have started to heat up too, unfortunately.
They're up
for
to the 7.
Yeah, 7 seed right now.
You guys,
unfortunately for Pelicans fans, it makes the pick swap kind of worthless.
Right.
Although there might be a clause in there that they can, if they don't use the swap this year, they just get their first round pick next year. But I'd have to look that up.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Elsewhere, the Warriors kind of heated up. The Suns have won 5 in a row now, and then we got your Mavs.
we don't want anything like we can't figure anything out. Like today he lost to the Hawks.
Yeah.
Kyrie dropped 41, but fouled at the end there, and Trae Young hit the free throws. 102, 100 in overtime, and we can't beat anybody right now. And I don't even know we just can't finish anything. We're in the 11th seed, and I honestly don't, at this point, don't have faith that we're even going to make the play-in. The way we've been playing recently, sadly.
Yeah, a game back of the youthful Oklahoma City Thunder right now, who
and they have the tiebreaker too.
Oh yeah, it's kind of one of those weird things too. It's like who actually wants this because they've lost a couple in a row. They've only won 4 of their last 10. The T-Wolves have lost 3 in a row. They had a bad loss to Portland today.
Yeah.
They've lost 6 of their last 10.
Who wants in?
Yeah, exactly. So they now sit there. We mentioned the Lakers and Pels are both. They're kind of tied, but I think the Lakers have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the only thing with the Lakers is when Anthony Davis hurt again.
I did not see that actually. Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's not surprising, but yeah. So that's interesting. And they're all right there too. The Lakers and Pels are only a half game back of the Clippers for that 6th seed and automatic playoff, and only a game back of Golden State.
Right.
Although Pels blew a big chance to beat them the other night.
Yeah, they did.
I think they pissed them off. And they had a double-digit lead in the first half, and they were, just turning.
The Warriors just went
Golden State
crazy.
was playing awful. Golden State was playing awful in that first half, turning the ball over, and the Pels were making their shots, and then they kind of pissed them off. Apparently, I saw some reports afterwards. CJ was talking too much shit, and Steph and them took over in the second half and won by damn near 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be an exciting about 4 games left for everybody. In that West we've mentioned it a couple times now. It's just crazy how everyone's packed together right there.
It's like it's probably the most mediocre season as far as like record wise. Everybody's at right now, but once we get to the actual playoffs, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an epic playoff on both sides. It's gonna be epic.
Yeah, so this will be the last week of the season. Some big matchups this week. As far as that West race goes, you got Sacramento visits New Orleans Tuesday.
That's true.
Lakers visit the Jazz. The Thunder visit the Warriors. Let's see, Minnesota has to go to the Nets. That's Tuesday. Then you got Wednesday. The Grizzlies go to New Orleans. Dallas hosts the Kings. The Battle of LA.
Yeah.
That night too. Just some big, real big games this week, and it should be a fun last week, and then a fun play-in and all that. But yeah, it's just a fun time in the NBA. It's been a good season. Like you said, it's been kind of mediocre. Everyone's kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
But yeah, players still dropping big time games. You mentioned the NBA and the Players Union Association agreed on new CBA, so no worries about strikes or lockouts anytime in the near future. Yeah, and we'll see. I was trying to look up, here. Just see what else, if there's anything I'm missing from the NBA right now. The draft will come after the season.
Right.
Speaking of drafts, I guess we can say
into the playoffs.
Yeah, right now it's just about the playoffs, getting there, and seeing if anybody can actually beat Milwaukee, because I think they're probably, again, they're one of those teams that needs to stay healthy too. But
yeah, I mean the Celtics did run through them the other night and beat them by 40.
Oh yeah, ooh,
but
yeah.
But the thing is that they had lost to some terrible teams. They lost to Charlotte and somebody else the night before, and then they beat the Bucks by 40. Like what? But
yeah, it's been one of those weird years, and the NBA can be like that,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we forget that these are all professionals. But
exactly. But if that'd be epic. If it came down to a Boston, Milwaukee, and everybody's healthy. You know how epic of a Eastern Conference Finals that could be. I mean, you look at even the first round playoffs. I mean, very well, more than likely going to have a Knicks Cavaliers first round matchup. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a hot one. Yeah, and it'll probably be looks like Cleveland get the home court for that. But then we also should mention the MVP run-in too, Embiid versus the Joker.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid's just been playing he's been playing a different game than everybody else the past couple months.
Right. When he finally beat the Joker last year, kind of a lot of people thought he was going to win, and Joker won a second one. Was that a second one going for a third three-peat there? So it'd be interesting if they've had Joel, Embiid wins this year or not. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the East, we talk a lot of the West. The East is pretty much set for who's in. I think the Pacers would need to win out and then have the Bulls lose out for them to catch them to make the play-in. So it looks like we know that our play-in teams, we mentioned Toronto's already clinched it up. Chicago will probably be one. Right. The Hawks will probably be one. And barring another late run, the Heat will be the other.
Right.
And then, like you said, we know the Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs, and Knicks have all wrapped up playoff spots, and they're
Mhm.
pretty much the way the standings fall. They're kind of setting those seeds too. It'd be Bucks 1, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs, then Knicks,
Right.
and then the Nets. So yeah, it looks like your first round series that we know of, would be Sixers, Nets, Cavs, Knicks, and then we'll just wait the results of the play-in.
Right. Exactly.
Then, like we said, in the West, the Nuggets probably will wrap up home court. They got a 2.5 game lead, but the Grizzlies are hot, so you never
They've been
know.
playing. They've been playing better recently.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
had a long hiatus, and Ja was out for a little bit, but yeah, recently they've been playing ball. And, Memphis, if they have their stuff together, that's a team. Watch out.
yeah, that's and that's a team you don't want to go
No,
into Memphis and play.
no,
It's
if they're
it's
on
not a fun.
fire,
That
that
crowd gets
atmosphere.
hot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a place to win.
Yeah. It looks like the Kings probably have the 3 seed sewn up. They're 2 behind Memphis and 4 ahead of Phoenix. Phoenix is right now, they're 2 ahead of Golden State for that 4 seed. That's important for that first round home.
Yeah.
So that could be a good series. We might see KD and the Suns versus the Warriors. That could be really hot.
That would be an epic play. A first round. To think that's a first round matchup, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you gotta. I don't know. I'm kind of weird since I grew up with those best of 5 first round series. I kind of miss them.
Oh yeah.
But a 7-game series is always exciting. But you got to wonder, what coaches and players think of that first round being 7. Like if you're the Suns or the Warriors and you got to go toe to toe with each other in the first round, and then your prize is you play the Nuggets more than likely.
Right.
Like,
After
that's
you've
rough.
gone 6 or 7 with KD and or Steph, and came out of a tough series, and
yeah, here's your reward. You get Nikola Jokic. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's rough. But yeah, that should be it for NBA talk. On our agenda here, I got listed a little NFL off-season stuff. We're pretty close to the draft. That's what the end of this month now that we're in April. And more talk, I guess the biggest news since we've last talked, Lamar Jackson came out and said that he asked for a trade back on March 2nd, a month ago now. We knew the Ravens put that non-exclusive tag on him.
Right.
I guess it's kind of a move to say, all right, well, let's see who's out there.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of an ugly situation. It's disheartening as a Ravens fan because, even though John Harbaugh says, like, oh, we want him, of course, everybody wants him to be here. It doesn't seem like the organization is really ponying up. But on the other hand, I get that too. Like, if he wants that Deshaun Watson deal, that's probably not, I think that was just a dumb move by the Browns ownership, the Haslams.
Something to Cleveland. That's only something to Cleveland do, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that's been a joke amongst a bunch of Ravens fans online. It's like, of course, fucking Cleveland would be the one to fuck this up for us. With their dumbass deal.
I read somewhere that Cleveland did it on purpose just so Lamar would end up responsible.
Playing the long game, yeah. They played the long con.
That's funny.
Because you remember initially, too, with the whole Deshaun thing, Cleveland was in it and then they weren't. And then they came back just with this ungodly deal, $230 million guaranteed. And that's what Lamar's looking for. And I think the Ravens' biggest was 175, which, hell, that's nothing to sneeze at. But, Lamar feels like
he deserves.
He wants what he wants. And, yeah, he has a good case for, and there's been talk too, maybe if he hadn't had an agent and it'd already be locked up, or maybe.
Yeah, and I thought that some myself just because, his mom is his agent, and wonder how serious front office guys take her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know how all that works. And of course, being he's not the traditional quarterback. He's in that thing of not being a quote unquote traditional quarterback.
Mhm.
Mom's his agent, and just 2 years with where he's not available at the end of the year kind of hurt him a little. I guess some hurt him a little
Mhm.
bit, and then it seems like there's that whole thing where it seems like teams have kind of just come out of nowhere and say, "Oh, we don't want Lamar." Like, but
Yeah, that's an interesting side that I want to touch on too. There's definitely a air of collusion about
yeah,
because as soon as the Ravens placed that non-exclusive tag on them, like the Falcons and Colts and Commanders and all these teams came out like, oh,
we
we're not
don't.
interested. It's like
But
bullshit. You
how are
all
you not?
desperately need quarterbacks. Yeah.
How are you not? And then also was it at the same time? It's one of those things like you on if you're not interested, there was nothing to say because there wasn't any talk to you. The, there's been no talks that no one's thinking. Oh, Lamar's thinking about going to the Commanders, or the Commanders are interested. Like
Mhm.
you came out and basically said, "Hey guys, we're not interested," but were you? No one was thinking about you guys in that conversation. Like it's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just really weird. And yeah, at the same
Y-
time, come on, all you guys need quarterbacks.
Yeah,
All
and
you
who, and not
guys.
only that, but Lamar Jackson. It's not just we're not
Yeah,
talking
we're not talking about an unproven rookie or someone we
or
don't know what they
Carson
could.
Wentz or
Yeah,
something. Yeah, like,
like we're talking about a unanimous MVP. We're talking
mm-hmm,
about a generational type quarterback, one of the most
mm-hmm,
special guys in the league. When he's
mm-hmm.
healthy, he's like when we've seen
He's
what the Ravens have been the last 2 years when he's there and when he's not there. Like it's crazy.
well, yeah, yeah. You only need to look at his stats. He's well, I think 45-16 as a starter. He started 4 seasons. That's
Mhm.
it's only 16 losses. That's it. And yeah, he's missed 10 games over the past 2, but still. And like you mentioned, then you go and look at how the Ravens have been without him. And last season, not the one that just finished, the one
Mhm.
before, they went from the
Running away
one
with the
seed to
North.
out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were running away with the North.
Yeah, they were 8-3 when he went out, and then they did not. They missed the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then this season they went from they were battling with Cincinnati for the North, but they had a good shot at winning it, and then they lost, and then Tyler Huntley makes his dumb
Very well
you know
could have beaten Cincinnati in that playoff game.
mm-hmm,
Should have beaten Cincinnati in a playoff game. Let's be
mm-hmm,
honest. I mean, and you think, man, Lamar, a healthy Lamar, and then the game goes to that, and Lamar at the goal line. Like,
yeah,
come
no.
on, that's crazy.
Yeah, or you just give the ball to Ray Rice, the guy who's averaging 5 yards carry. But that's again, we've had that conversation already.
We've had that
But yeah,
combo, but
it's statistically, if you look at just not even just the wins, but the production of the Ravens
yeah,
offense without him, it's ungodly.
yeah.
It's just
I
horrible.
mean,
Like the team,
just what
and
he brings.
yeah,
He's a
exactly
winner.
what he brings, and some of that can be attributed to uh, Greg Roman, and we'll see, with Todd Monken this year, and that's another thing. How do you not, if you're the Ravens, how do you not take a chance of, all right, well, let's see what Lamar looks in maybe
Right,
an offense that favors more him passing the ball. Let's use his arm. Like he's got an arm.
exactly.
That's how he won the Heisman Trophy at Louisville. That's how he's, the first 4 or 3 games of this season, he was
Yeah,
the leading the league in passing.
he's got the arm. Like
He's
it's not
shown that he
like
can do it. And
exactly.
yeah, sorry, but what's frustrating as a Ravens fan is that this they just have not given him really any help on the offense. And you can point to, oh, well, they drafted Hollywood Brown, they drafted Rashad Bateman. It's like, okay, well, Hollywood's not a number one in that offense, and Rashad Bateman can't stay on the field. We got Mark Andrews is great, but if he's your biggest receiving threat, then teams can double and triple him, and that's what it is. You're throwing in triple coverage, and sometimes he makes amazing plays,
Right.
but
Yeah,
it's not what you want to depend on as an offense.
yeah. When
And
you're
then,
anytime your tight end is your wide receiver one, that's not a good
mhm.
thing.
No, it's not, and like,
Mark Andrews is a hell of a tight end, but he shouldn't be the number one option. Like,
no, yeah, and they're not, and it's not like they have Andy Reid or maybe even an Eric Bieniemy calling plays like they do with Travis Kelce, where they design these very special plays for him, and it's just they haven't. I can see Lamar inside of this thing, and this whole thing, I'm kind of team Lamar because the Ravens, it does feel like they haven't really done what they can to put everything behind him, and
Yeah,
they pigeonholed him as a running quarterback, and he's so much more than that. And
and now
uh,
like they're trying,
I do
like he's the bad
go
guy
ahead.
in this. That's the one thing I hate the worst. It's like, come on,
Hmm.
he's not the like. And the other funny thing is, so funny like when regular people side with like the the bill.
The billionaire owners, it's so weird.
Like, come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
just yes, everybody's a millionaire and a billionaire. Yeah, we get it. They all are getting huge money, but in the realm of things, it'd be like, it'd be like, it's like,
And there's no, yeah, you can't think of it's weird. It's like
yeah, like
siding with your boss over your friends or something,
it's so
Like,
weird to side with the person that doesn't have anything in common with you. Like,
mm-mm,
it's never had anything in common with you. Because it's most of these NFL guys, the owners haven't. They didn't come up themselves. A lot of them came into money,
mm-hmm,
born into money. You're the common person should be more aligned with the athlete because most of the athletes, yes, they're making a lot of money now, but they came from situations probably worse than us.
yeah. And the athletes are just, yeah, in a perfect world, no, athletes don't make millions of dollars, I guess. And, teachers make more money and obviously and stuff like
I
that.
mean,
But
I
they're
mean,
also just making
yeah,
what they're worth. They're just making what
exactly,
they're worth.
yeah,
There's billions of dollars that go in the NFL, so
yeah,
they should
exactly,
make millions of dollars.
right,
And to, expand on your point, everything that everybody complains about in the NFL, high ticket prices or, Sunday ticket being so expensive and all of that crap is the owner's fault. The owners are the ones that control that and vote
exactly,
for these things and set the market for this stuff. So
exactly,
don't side with the owners, like it's
exactly,
just weird.
yeah.
It's weird for regular
I
people to
just
side with
side with the
billionaires.
billionaires. Like, come on,
Hmm.
like, what is? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like, I'm always gonna be on the player's side.
Hmm.
It's got to be a worse situation when I'm not. Like,
Yeah, it has to be a blatant, like they come out and flip off the fans
yeah,
and,
like,
this city sucks. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
uh, yeah. And Lamar's not done that. He's
No,
even
he's
in
not
his,
that guy. Overall, he's a
no,
humble
yeah.
guy. He's a solid guy. He doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't do crazy stuff. Like,
Mm-mm.
I mean, the man goes like he went to like a Waffle House after a game where everybody's like, the Waffle House staff like, shit, Lamar Jackson's here. And he just goes in like he's just a regular guy.
Yeah, he
You
just
know,
he just wants
everybody
his,
comes
his
in
all
because
star,
Lamar
man.
is there. Right, exactly. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it. To me, and I put this on Facebook, and to me, outside of Patrick Mahomes, it's not another quarterback that I would want. I mean, yes, there's
Mm.
other quarterbacks that are great. But I mean, he's such to me, he's just something special, something that you're not going to see again. Like it's, you can all, every couple of years you'll see another, um, you'll see another Joe Burrow, a guy,
Mm-hmm.
who's just a normal passer. You'll see a Herbert every now and again, but you're not going to see too many Lamar Jacksons. you know,
No, and yeah, when he's healthy and on his game, he's
it's
number two
ridiculous.
solidly
Yeah.
behind Pat Mahomes. Yeah.
Outside of Pat Mahomes, there's nobody else when he's healthy that I would want as my quarterback. He's just special, and
Yeah, he's got
I
that
don't.
rare ability
Yeah,
that in football, because football's such a team sport. He's the rarest of rare guys that can win a
take
game
over.
by himself.
Yeah, just take
Yeah,
over, almost like like a basketball player can just control the
exactly.
game
Yeah,
in ways that you don't see hardly ever.
yeah. And so I do hope that, like John Harbaugh said, the Ravens end up.
They
He
got
is
to
the starter. They
figure
reconcile that
something out.
relationship. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to, because my immediate reaction to that day was being like, man, I might be done as a Ravens fan. Like, unless somehow they get Carolina or Houston and they draft Bryce Young or
yeah,
something. But
yeah.
even
Done.
then, like, it's
It's still you're still going with the guy that's unproven in the NFL. We
Exactly,
love
and
Bryce,
yeah,
but we don't know. You don't know.
yeah,
There's
and
great signs that he's going to be great, but we don't know for sure. You know what you're getting with Lamar.
exactly, and that's the biggest frustrating thing of all is that we already know. We know how much he adds to this franchise. We know how much better. I mean, you take him away, they're not a playoff team.
No, not at
It's
all.
just there.
They're
Um,
maybe 5-12.
yeah, yeah. And oh god, I saw somebody make a joke about it, and it's just horrible. But they're like the Ravens quarterback battle is going to be Tyler Huntley, Anthony Brown, and Stetson Bennett. And Jesus,
Jeez.
no, just please no. um, but yeah, other than that, I don't nothing much else in the NFL.
NFL
It's
just
pro day season.
pro days, and it's Anthony Richardson getting all the hype.
Mm,
We know he had a cannon
so
of an
much hype.
arm. But it was a pretty pass. But I mean, that's what pro day is. It's a day to look your best. Like no one's usually
Yeah,
going to look bad at pro day. Like that just doesn't happen.
yeah. You're in your t-shirt and shorts, and yeah, everybody looks great on pro day.
You hope so.
Yeah, and as going back to the Ravens again, as a Ravens fan, people talk, oh, maybe they can draft up and get Anthony Richardson. Look, I've done that deal before. We've had Kyle Baller, the guy that could get on one knee and throw it through the uprights from the 60 yards away. Good for him. I don't want that again. Like you said, I want the proven guy.
Yeah, you have the guy. Put stuff around him. Put people around
so
him.
far
Make it better.
The only move the Ravens have made this offseason, granted, I know the Lamar situation, kind of hamstrings them. They got to take care of that first, but they got Nelson Aguilar. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, other than that, like we said, NFL draft later this month. Calais Campbell signed with the Falcons. If you haven't seen that clip, I think the funniest thing I've noticed is there's from the Kelsey brothers doing their podcast or whatever they do. What's the one? The center, not Travis.
Jason.
Jason. He pulls up a picture from the NFL head coach's picture and has Travis Kelce try to name all the coaches, and he might get. I don't even know if he gets half of them, but he literally is just going through. But no, I don't know who the fuck that guy is. Like what? It's some good stuff if y'all get a chance to look that up.
That's funny.
Some levity there to the sports world, but that's all I got on the agenda, Greg. Is there anything else in the world of sports you want to hit on?
Baseball season's just starting, but it's early in the year. Right, 100 and what? Everybody played about 2-3 games at this point, so we still got about 159, 60 more games to go. So it kind of is what it is there. But opening day is always a good day. And I hope everybody who has T-Mobile took advantage. I don't know if it's still available for the MLB TV deal they have where you get free MLB TV for the entire season if you have T-Mobile.
Oh,
the Tuesday app, and that was the deal of the week. And it's like $160 value, and basically watch any out-of-market game on your phone and stuff. So that's pretty epic if you're a baseball fan. So.
Yeah, that is. I can't believe I, didn't even think about MLB opening this week. The Braves winning 2-3. My Braves. No, actually, in my fantasy league, we had a big old bitch fest about MLB TV and all that. Because being in Alabama, at least right now, even if I got MLB TV, I can't watch the Braves because they're an in-market team.
Oh yeah, that is the worst. And you're like, dude, they're like 300 miles away, and like it's not on any local channels here.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. Yeah. I can watch. I think I said in it. I can watch second division European soccer games. Yeah. I can watch like 37 college football games on Saturdays in the fall, but I can't watch the Braves, who are a 2-hour drive from me in Atlanta.
Because they're supposedly on some local channel that nobody has, are only available to certain providers. Or something.
Yeah, and they have their own Bally Sports, which I don't have with YouTube TV, and I love YouTube TV. It's but I don't have it. And then now Bally's going out; they're declaring for bankruptcy, so that might be a moot point anyway. That whole shit's it's messy. But yeah, open the day is always great. A couple injuries so far earlier this year, as baseball has. The World Baseball Classic was awesome.
What's up?
That they need to make that a bigger thing. I think they need to do that in the middle, like around the All-Star break. Have the All-Star game and then stay,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
because
take a couple more weeks off, do that World Baseball Classic. I know teams would hate it because players could get injured, but they get injured in spring training too.
exactly.
But people don't get hurt in spring training.
Injuries can happen anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely
especially
a great event. One that definitely, like I said, deserves more attention there. It's kind of in a tough situation because I mean it's going up against March Madness and weird times of games and stuff, and it's not. I guess for the it's hard to find games at times, or but definitely if you watch them, I mean it was epic baseball, and it came down to Otani versus Trout. It was the last.
Trout. Yeah,
I mean, doesn't that's the last matchup there for the pitcher hitter. I mean, it's epic tournament. A lot of great games. But yeah, definitely they need to. I don't know. Put it by the All-Star game, market it better because it definitely should be getting more attention. It got some, but I think it should definitely be on a higher level than what it is right now, for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, it's and then the MLB needs to like work on your just. I mean, you want to get your product out there. You want people to be able to watch baseball, and you want to market your stars, and they're just so horrible at it. It's so hard to watch.
It's terrible.
And they have all these weird like highlight rules, like you can only show so many minutes in highlights. It's just so
I don't know. It's so frustrating because like baseball handicaps themselves from being bigger than what they are.
yeah. It's yeah, exactly. Yeah, MLB steps on its own foot routinely.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, they don't. It's that they're still that. It's like they're trying to make it more friendly, with the pitch and the everything like that, and the pitch count, and the clock, and everything. But at the same time, it's still so old school and antiquated. That, it kind of cancels itself out as far as because I mean, you have your non-hardcore baseball fan couldn't name, but if they lined up the 10 top players in the game, they're not gonna know 8 of them. While your part-time NBA fan, you line up the top 10 players in the league, I guarantee they're gonna know all of them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's just weird. Like I said, it's just I don't get MLB sometimes, and they're just like so hesitant. It seems like to put their product out there.
It makes no sense why. There's no good reason.
No,
I mean,
absolutely no good reason.
Everything is about marketing and being out there and being fan friendly and being where the casual fan feels like, oh man, this is cool, and that's what you're always gonna have your hardcore fans, and that's not what you have to really market to. It's your casual guy that may watch a little baseball, but doesn't kill them if they don't watch games. And how baseball does things sometimes, it keeps that fan from wanting to become a bigger baseball fan than what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems a weird. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, again, I don't think I have anything else. English soccer, European soccer keeps rolling on. Some exciting finishes to their seasons there. Arsenal's won 7 in a row now, so they're still holding off Manchester City. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund are going head-to-head in Germany. Borussia Dortmund trying to end Bayern Munich's I believe they've won 10 in a row, 10 German titles in a row now.
Some stuff.
Champions League. I believe some Champions League matches should be coming back soon. But yeah, a good springtime sports. We get coming up on the basketball playoffs. About to finish March Madness, obviously the Masters next week.
NFL draft coming up. And baseball's getting going. I mean, it's a good spring is definitely a good time for sports.
Yeah. We'll get some playoffs. We'll get drafts. Yeah, and then baseball, and then we'll get into kind of the lulls of summer. But in this day and age with all free agency and everything, there's really no lulls in anything.
There's really not.
The summer we'll have that.
Yeah, and that's one thing the NBA does epically is that free agent. When that thing opens up, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's one thing I think I mentioned. I don't know, maybe something in writing a couple years ago, but the NBA has absolutely done great by taking a cue from the soccer world, where they call it the silly season, but the off season is almost as important as the actual games, and it seems like it gets more press with rumors who's going where, who's going to be traded, who's going to sign with this team or that team. It's crazy, but it keeps people thinking about you when you're not playing games. It's big.
If anything, it's almost as entertaining as a regular season.
Yeah, exactly. And it's exciting too, especially if you have your team had a disappointing season. You can get hope and excitement for, what the possibilities to come. But we'll end it. The Hall of Fame stuff. Oh, Stacy Keibler, Baltimore's own. Actual Ravens cheerleader back in the day, or maybe on the dance team. But yeah, to tie everything in. But yeah, what is we'll end it. We'll wrap up here. What's been done up real good for you, Greg?
Done for me, good this week. My daughter again, bragging on her. She was in a engineering competition with her junior high team, and they came in third amongst the Omaha area junior highs as far as putting a plan together to better a location. They chose a park in town to make it more accessible and for people of all abilities, and they put a heck of a plan together. It came within a couple points of winning the entire competition. So epic. Doing a lot more than what I was doing in 8th grade, that's for sure.
No, that's great.
How about you?
Let's see. Done it real good for me this week. I guess I mentioned at the top of the show, but getting this deck done, we've started. It's been an almost 2-year project now. Stops and starts for various reasons, but feels good to get stuff done on your house. Sure. Makes you feel accomplished. It's a nice. Yeah, and what we had before, I think I was saying before we started recording, but it was the old deck when we tore it down. It was held up by 3 stacks of cinder blocks. So it's nice to get something that we know is good in, and we can grill and host people and have fun, enjoy the scenery. We got a pretty decent view of downtown from here, but it was just a nice weekend to finish that up. Some good weather.
Oh, for sure.
Little Mercer keeps rolling along.
Nice.
Almost got that head control now, so that's good. That's a game changer right there.
It's a game changer when they figure out how to not topple over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when he can actually hold that head up and doesn't headbutt you every time you try to look at him. But yeah, so we're working on that. That's our next step. But thank you for listening, folks. Sorry if it was a little random. Like I said, we were distracted by WrestleMania, and I'm dog tired from working out in the sun all day. But we should be back in a couple weekends. I will be live from New Orleans by then. We go down to work Jazz Fest every year. So that'll be there. I will remember to bring my microphone. But yeah, by then we'll have a national champion basketball. We'll have a Masters champ. We'll be into the NBA playoffs. Be a couple weeks into the baseball season. We'll be close to the NHL playoffs.
Right around the draft time.
Yeah.
So yeah, should be an epic show.
Yeah. We'll be real close to draft time. Yeah, but it'll be good. As always, listen to everything we got on the Alabama Take Family Podcast. I mentioned earlier, I think should be available. Talked with Corey, but I might be on Alabama Slam this week for their WrestleMania wrap-up. I think that's when I filled in for Patrick last year, was that episode. Of course, we always have Taking It Down and all the other great podcasts. Check out the site. And as always, keep it done up real good yourselves out there. Greg, have a good one, buddy. I'll see you next time.
You too, buddy. Yes, sir.